and gentlemen, welcome back to MIKEYDOOD 2, where we are focusing on the brand new Piggy update, which is brought this right here, the brand new Pages tab here on the main menu. Now, earlier today, guys, MIKEYDOOD tweeted out this right here. He says, "Ahoy, everyone! The brand new Piggy book update is now out. You can find pages around each book 1 chapter to add to a book or a journal of sorts. I also optimized book 2, chapter 4 and 7 on the low settings option and added show-friendly items / hard mode to book 1. Now, that's a ton of cool things added, but the brand new thing that's added is this Pages tab right here. Now, if we actually press on this, you guys can see we have book 1 right here, and we have question marks for book 2, just because book 2 isn't completely finished yet. Now, once we actually press book 1, you guys can see our book actually opens up, and apparently we have to find different pieces of paper in each of the book 1 chapters, from chapter 1 house all the way to chapter 12 power plant. Now, I don't know if any other Roblox YouTuber has actually completed this, but I'm gonna be focusing on actually finding every single location for the pages in each of these chapters. So if you guys are excited, make sure to let me know down in the comments and subscribe to the brand new channel. But once again, guys, I am gonna be doing this inside of a VIP server, so Mr. Editor, make sure to shout out the Discord right now. Make sure to join it and grind some Roblox Piggy with me. But with that being said, guys, let's jump straight into chapter 1 for the brand new Pages. Okay, guys, here we are back where it all started. Chapter 1 house inside of Piggy book 1. Now, I think this right here is what we're actually going to be looking for. These little pages for a book. And as you can see, if you actually hover over it, your cursor actually turns into a hand. And once you press on it, I think that's actually how you find each of the pages for the chapters. But I still don't know what the book at the end creates. So if you guys have any ideas, please let me know down in the comments. But that was the very first one. Let's actually completely solve this chapter 1 map to hopefully find the rest of these notes. Now, I think I did see a second note inside of this green room, because I did watch a few tutorials, and if I'm correct, yep, right here on the opposite side of the wall, our very second note for this journal that we are collecting for Piggy book 1. Now, I'm not 100% sure on how many notes are inside of each chapter. I'm guessing around 6 different ones, so we're gonna have to keep on searching for every single note inside of every single chapter. So honestly, guys, this might take a bit. Now, I found the third note right here behind the shed in the backyard. There we go. And just for the sake of the video, guys, I'm gonna let myself oof, just because I want to see how many notes total do I need. Now, once we head on over back to the main menu, we should be able to press on Pages book 1, and oh, it still says chapter 12 plant. Let me scroll all the way back to the first chapter, chapter 1 house, and figure out how many we need. Now, as you can see, it says find all 6 pieces of paper in this chapter to unlock this page. So we found half of them, guys. Let's actually go back in and fill up the rest of this Pages book, because honestly, guys, I still have no idea what it's gonna unlock. Okay, guys, so I actually managed to find all of the notes inside of chapter 1 house. The last one was actually in this basement area, and it looks like Piggy has other plans. But ladies and gentlemen, that is officially our very first chapter. And as you can see, once you actually collect all of it, you can actually read some sort of story that focuses on the main Piggy storyline. Now, I'm gonna read this really quickly. It says, "I was tasked to investigate reports of a missing child named Georgie. As I arrived at the Piggy's household for any leads, I began to notice things were off. It was unusually quiet and quaint. A breeze of unease shrouded me as I stepped out of my vehicle. Without a moment to react, I blacked out and woke up in the bedroom of the house with a beaming headache. Someone had knocked me out and brought me here, but why? If they wanted to get rid of me, why didn't they finish the job? While attempting to piece things together, I encountered a strange, crazed pig with different eyes and a hunger for harm. It didn't talk, it just chased me. Terrifying. As soon as I escaped the house, I decided to get back to the station and get help. What we have here seems to be much more than a missing animal case." So it kind of gives a backstory to what chapter 1 was. So with that being said, guys, let's actually head over into chapter 2 station. Okay, guys, so I just completed the 6th note inside of chapter 2 station. They're honestly in places that are pretty obvious, guys. The last one I found was actually inside of this jail cell. So once you actually unlock a room inside of each of these chapters, you should be able to spot each of the notes. So keep your eyes peeled, guys. I've gathered all 6, so let's actually let ourselves oof in this laser right here and see what the journal entry note for chapter 2 actually says. Now, as you can see, it says, "When I reached the station, I had found it to be unusually quiet. No officers celebrating, no criminals rattling their cell doors, nothing. Then the intercom system spurted out a warning to get to the garage. The voice sounded familiar. It was Doggy, my old partner. I don't know why he showed up on his day off. Maybe it was a distress call that all officers received while I was unconscious in the Piggy house. As I crept about to unlock the garage, I encountered yet another strange looking pig. It appeared to have black eyes and a violent attitude, just like the last one. What is it with these animals? What happened to them and what made them like this? Once I opened the garage door, fueled the escape car and left with Doggy, I felt a sense of dread overwhelm me. I got out but did not feel safe. I needed to find out what was going on. So I'm thinking that each of these chapters are actually a journal of your character as everything is going on. And of course, guys, we have the very next chapter, chapter 3, gallery. It turns out the gas can I picked up was almost empty. I think that might be a little bit of a typo, Mr. Minitoon, but it says because we found ourselves running out pretty quick. To make matters even worse, we stopped in the middle of the city. A couple of the infected, as Doggy calls them, surrounded our car. We rushed into the nearby building, the gallery. I haven't been here since we started investigating a reported robbery last month. It seemed to be a little run down as well. We quickly sealed the building only to soon realize that the infected entered as well. It was very strange to see a place once so calm become so chaotic. Doggy told me that he never liked galleries anyway. So chapter 3, guys, you can see that your character is actually writing all of this stuff down. He's beginning to become a little bit panicked, but he still is with Doggy, so he's all okay. But with that being said, guys, let's jump into chapter 4 where, yeah, it looks like we're gonna have to be saying goodbye to Officer Doggy. Uh-oh, speaking of Doggy, yeah, he looks a little bit infected, but I think this note right here is the 4th out of the 6th, and I did actually see one more behind the blue door. So this process of finding the notes doesn't take too long. You literally just have to play each of the previous chapter maps and find all of these little pesky little notes. And once you grab all 6, you should be able to unlock the next chapter. So we're gonna continue to grind out each of these chapters to fully fill out the journal for Piggy Book 1. Now I think I actually found the second to last note right here inside of this cave, and the only one we need now is behind the blue door. So I'm pretty sure once I use this gold key to climb up the little tree house and make my way on over to the top, I should be able to grab the blue key. And wait a minute, guys, it looks like they already opened it up. So let me grab this final note. There we go, guys. It's honestly pretty simple, especially if you guys have a VIP server. And with that being said, guys, let's find out where Officer Doggy is. And yeah, we're gonna let him oof me right now because we are about to read the journal entry for chapter 4, Forest. Now it says, Doggy and I had been safe and sound in this forest for weeks now. We've been silently visiting small towns and taking supplies from them. We spoke for days about what we'll do when it's over. Doggy said he'd like to travel south someday and visit old monuments and ruins. I don't know what I'd do. I couldn't get my mind off of the world state. One night, I woke up to discover a broken and empty potion and a missing friend. I looked around and found Doggy. He was one of them. My gut sank and I felt weak. Where did this potion come from and why did he drink it? Was he forced to? He had red eyes not like the others. Someday, I will get to the bottom of this. As I left the forest, no longer be faced with such a harsh blow to my heart, I came across a radio with a voice that instructed me to head to a school. Clinging on to anything to distract my mind, I followed their instructions, and of course, guys, that will be leading us straight into chapter 5, school, where we once again have to find all 6 papers. All right, guys, another chapter completed, chapter 5, school. Now it says, still recovering from the loss of Doggy, I felt out of touch with reality, like I was a blur just floating through time. However, I pressed on. The radio I found in the forest instructed me to help them out and find their friend trapped in the school. Maybe if I couldn't save my friend, I could help them save theirs. That's when I met Bunny, a sharpshooter bunny with an eye patch. She had barricaded herself in the school surveillance room after a failed supply run. She was very kind, not to mention thankful. Her enthusiasm inspired me to be strong and get a hold of myself. As we headed to the sewers to meet up with the mysterious radio voice, my head started burning up. I did not feel too well at all. I ignored it and continued moving forward. We met with Mr. P, a very rich celebrity. It was certainly strange to find someone of his status walking about in the sewers. He thanked me for my help, but the more he spoke, the harder I found it to pay attention. My head hurt more and more until I passed out there. The last thing I remember was being wheeled in a hospital and seeing Doggy. Now that's pretty intense, guys. Let me know what you think of the chapter 5 school note, but with that being said, guys, we're heading on over to the chapter 6 hospital to figure out another journal entry. Okay, Okay guys, not gonna lie, chapter 6 hospital took me a few times because I couldn't find the notes, but we officially got it done, and it says, I woke up in a hospital with Bunny by my side. She seemed to lighten up when she saw my eyes open. Bunny explained that Mr. P and the researchers didn't think I'd make it as I showed minimal symptoms of the infection. She didn't give up on me though. I rescued her, so she believed it was her duty to protect me from being tossed out and deemed a lost cause. Bunny also told me that I woke up in the perfect time as the place was being evacuated. A doctor was infected and caused severe panic. I jumped out of bed and got to the rooftop where a helicopter was supposedly waiting for us. It wasn't there. They left without us to who knows where. Bunny and I needed to come up with a way to get out of the hospital ourselves and fast. So as you can see, chapter 6 gets pretty intense, but that doesn't mean anything compared to chapter 7 Metro where, yep, as you guys already know, Bunny might have to go oof. Okay guys, so as you can see, it only took us around 4 minutes to find all 6 notes inside of chapter 7, so I consider this one to be a little bit easier than the rest of the maps. It literally took me 2 tries for chapter 6, but with that being said, let me oof to Piggy really quickly and read the next journal entry. Chapter 7 Metro. We made our way through the hospital and down to the underground metro. Bunny and I spoke about Mr. P. I told her my disbelief in him. I could not understand why he would not wait a moment longer for us. She explained that lately, he has become more and more delusional and obsessed with his search for a cure. Upon finally reaching the metro, I started to work on repairs for the tram. Bunny sat down, not feeling too well. She told me she needed to rest a little before going on and lent me her crossbow. When the repairs were ready, she told me that she was infected. I was very reluctant to believe her. She explained that she was one of the test subjects of Mr. P's cure test at the hospital. Hers did not go so well. So yeah, guys, you can see Mr. P is a little bit sus, but I told her that we could find a cure and she could hold on long enough to find it. Bunny didn't want to go on as she feared putting me in danger. I got on the tram looking back at her as she stayed behind to fight off any infected that may still be there. My heart hurt and my fist clenched. I was going to find Mr. P. So this is where you can see the players' like frustration and anger towards Mr. P. This is where he wants to get revenge. But with that being said, guys, let's jump straight into chapter 8 Carnival. Now here we go, guys. Chapter 8 Carnival. I arrived at Mr. P's carnival to search for any leads on where he may be. Unfortunately, there was not much to be found besides an infected fox trapped in a cage. I shiver at the thoughts of how he could have possibly ended up like that. I met 2 survivors there, Zizzy and Pony. Zizzy was a cunning, skilled fencer, and Pony was a clumsy yet comforting ally. They were kind enough to allow me to join them. They told me they were on a supply run, but found me on the way and trusted me enough. As I was led back to their safe house, they spoke a lot about untrustworthy people and how I should watch out for them. It seemed that this whole situation really brought out the worst in some. Now that's pretty intense, guys, but it is the very first time we meet Pony and Zizzy. We already know what happens between that relationship, so let's jump straight into chapter 9 City, where hopefully things get a little bit more interesting. Okay, guys, not gonna lie, chapter 9 City was a little bit more difficult since it is one of the biggest maps, but there we go, guys. We just completed the 6th note, and it says, we arrived at the city, a rundown mess. They set up their safe house in a hotel as it had plenty of beds and supplies. Recently, they've been running low. It was there I learned a few things about my 2 new allies. Zizzy taught her younger sisters Z and Zusi how to fight. Pony studied optometry like his father. I told them my story and how I was searching for Mr. P. Saying his name struck something in me, a negative emotion that burned inside my gut. As we spoke, we discovered a mysterious figure watching us. It didn't seem to be infected as it ran away when we noticed it. Zizzy and I ran after it. Now, as you guys know, that is none other than our little favorite friend, George Pig, who we reveal inside of the chapter 10 mall, so let's jump straight in. Okay, guys, not gonna lie, chapter 10 was just as fast. You guys can see right under 2.5 minutes. There we go, guys, the 6th note. So let's jump right into Piggy, and not gonna lie, guys, doing this in a VIP lobby with the Mikey Mob makes it super easy. But with that being said, guys, the chapter 10 mall journal entry says, we chased the figure to the mall only to discover that it was Georgie, the missing child. He had a deep fear in his eyes when we found him in his little fort, coupled with an awful stench. I asked him why he went missing. He told me about his family. They visited the hospital without him and came back acting strange. So he ran off to find his grandmother in the city in hopes that she could help him out. Unfortunately for him, the city seemed to act all the same way his family did by the time he got here. So he hid himself. This poor, cruel world took his family away from him. I could not imagine what that must feel like at his age. So we brought him back to the safe house with us. It was there I met the Safe Place crew, Zizzy's sisters, Mimi and Giraffe. Mimi was a smart engineer. She knew her way around technology quite well. Giraffe was a tough guy with a strong passion for nature and ecology. He loved plants. The meeting was short-lived, however, as Mimi had managed to find a working helicopter signal at the nearby military outpost. Pony informed us of the news. We left Georgie in the care of the others as Pony, Zizzy, and I journeyed to the outpost, which once again, guys, is my favorite map, chapter 11. So let's jump right in, guys, and not waste any more time. Now, not gonna lie, guys, chapter 11 might have been the longest one so far, but I did find the final 6th note. They were actually a little bit harder to see inside of this map, which I don't really know if MiniToon made this like purposefully harder, but as you can see, if we walk out, we should be able to read the chapter 11 journal entry, which reads, "The outpost was swarming with infected soldiers. The three of us opened the steel doors of the plant where Mr. P presumably flew to. As I prepared to enter, Georgie showed up. He snuck out of the safe place and followed us. I was not pleased to see him at all because he could have been easily harmed. It was a relief to see him unscathed though. I can't say I was surprised after finding out how well he managed on his own. He wanted to see Mr. P, the one responsible for making his family act the way they did. I reluctantly agreed to bring him along as long as he remained close and out of any more trouble. Georgie and I entered the plant, leaving Zizzy and Pony to fend off against the soldiers and protect us from being swarmed. It was there that we found Mr. P speaking strangely. He seemed to hold a deep regret for his actions and could not seem to cope with them. When he realized we were there, he believed we were nothing but ghosts who had come to haunt him. Mr. P was unable to come to terms with reality and ran off. We followed him for a final confrontation, which of course is inside of the chapter 12 power plant." And here we have it, guys, the final chapter to complete book 1. The only thing standing between us and the fully completed chapter 1 journal book is this right here. And oh guys, we're already starting fast. The first note found inside of that room. Let's actually cut back in as soon as we find the final 6th note to figure out what secret skin is unlocked once you beat all the journal entries. Okay guys, so I'm not 100% sure if I'm correct, but I actually found 2 over here on the green side and I found 2 more on the orange side. Now, as you guys know, chapter 12 is a little bit different because as soon as you actually press the dynamite right here, the map completely changes. So just as a quick note, guys, make sure to grab all 4 notes before heading on over to the second stage of chapter 12 plant. Now there we go, guys, just transitioned into stage number 2. Now I'm actually going to be muting this music because we've actually heard that before, but the only thing we need right now is to find the remaining 2 notes, and if we do so, we will be getting the secret skin. And oh wait, one's right here, guys, easy as that. Let me nab that really quickly, and I'm almost positive the one is on the other side, so let's just double check right here. There's nothing by that, and oh gosh, guys, Mr. P seems a little bit upset that we're around his chapter 12 power plant, but you know what, guys, sorry about that, Mr. P. I have to find this final journal entry, and okay, it's not inside of here. Oh my goodness, guys, where are all of these things at? Guys, I'm actually a complete idiot. There's only one more note on that final stage where we grabbed it right next to like the Mrs. P picture in that carnival area, but the 3rd note is actually on the orange side right over here. I actually, yeah, it's very hard to see, so this one might be the final one you guys need to look for. Once you press that, you can actually oof because you don't actually have to complete the map, but yeah, so since I played this twice already, yeah, I already grabbed the one on the second stage, so let's let ourselves oof and read the final journal entry for Piggy book 1. Okay guys, let's let ourselves oof to Mary right there and read the 12th and final journal entry, and I'm pretty sure it should be giving us a skin, but as you can see, it says Mr. P's delusional thoughts grew wider as he began to attack us in an attempt to get us to leave him alone. We persisted in trying to get his attention, but he would not listen. He was in a world of his own, blinded by his own remorse. It was not long before I too began to suffer from unwanted thoughts. I cycled through my own memories being attacked by the past. I was searching for something, anything to get me back into the real world. That was until I found a photo of Mr. P's wife. I showed it to him, and that was when it all came back to him. He finally came to terms with his actions, seeing us no longer as regretful memories. He told us his story. He did everything he could to save his wife, who was suffering from a sickness and caused the world to burn in the process. Nothing hurt him more in this world than himself, and he was afraid of his actions. He became more and more desperate for solutions, sacrificing those closest to him in the process. Georgie was upset and wanted revenge, but I convinced him not to do anything to him. If he harmed Mr. P, he would not be any better than Mr. P. He was too blinded by his emotions to realize what he was doing, and if Georgie went through with it too, he would have suffered just like him. We soon left the plant, leaving behind Mr. P. Zizzy and Pony greeted us with great joy. With the search for Mr. P finally over, we were unsure of what to do. We all stopped to take a moment to think, then Georgie's face lit up as he came up with an idea. What if we looked for a cure? Maybe it wasn't such a ridiculous idea. We live in a world full of all sorts of people, so perhaps it wouldn't be too far-fetched to come across someone working on something that could help us out. There's only one way to find out. So honestly, guys, that might have been the coolest grindy game of Piggy Book 1 so far. Let's actually head on over to skins, and if I'm correct, we should be able to, I don't know if there's actually a new skin, guys. Hold up, skins book 1. Let's go all the way to the end, and guys, I actually don't think it gives you anything. So if you end up actually completing it, let me know down in the comments. Mr. Minitoon might be adding some sort of reward at the end. But once again, guys, if you enjoyed today's video, join the MIKEYDOOD 2 family. And don't forget to use code Mikey whenever you're purchasing Robux and Premium. We'll see you guys in the next one. Have a fantastic day. Goodbye, everybody.